What's going on, everybody? This is Foxhound Finance, and I'm back again with another video covering AMC. Please remember that nothing in my videos is financial advice. All right, we're going to jump right into it, guys, starting off with just a quick look at the box office numbers. I have it pulled up here from Box Office Mojo, and as you guys can see, by the quarter total, we are at $2.67 billion, rounded up. All right. So compared to 2025, we're at 2.67 billion for the total, and we still have a week left here for June of 2026, all right, before Q2 ends. So from what I can see, we're very, very close to hitting, I think, 3 billion on the quarter. You had Toy Story 5 open up with 160 plus million dollars domestic. You have Supergirl coming out next weekend. I mean, it's only going to have one weekend, doesn't matter. It's still one of those kinds of movies. The superhero movies, I feel like, usually do pretty well. So we will see how that goes with those two back on the weekend slate. If we can get really, guys, $300 million total between really this 8 days. If we get $300 million total for this next 8 days, we're going to be right on the nose of 3 billion. And why that is so important is that we have not seen $3 billion like on the regular, even before the pandemic, right? You had it 2019, 2018 at 3.3 and 3.2. The other time we hit over 3 billion was in 2015. That was the first Jurassic World, like or Jurassic World dropping of the new trilogy, I guess. Then you had 3 billion pretty much on the nose in 2013. So really, it's not a regular occurrence, guys, to get 3 billion in a quarter. Okay, at least for Q2. I'm not even looking at the other quarters. But that is a significant number to hit for the box office right there. And again, that's only going to drive the bullish price action, right? So looking very, very good. I really think it's going to be close to high 2.9, low $3 billion for the box office of Q2 2026. So it looks incredible. Let's take a look now at the PA part of the video here. Let's see where we are at in the price action. All right. For simplicity's sake, anybody new, these red descending trend lines here are the resistance lines that we needed to break as we were falling off that cliff back here since the reverse split and the ape conversion, the whole nine, right? Since this point right here, we've done nothing but either waterfall, rebound slightly, and then slowly descend even further. Another impulse right here, which was the 1188, and then just continue to trickle down and down and down all the way until we hit our 93-cent all-time low, which we have now strongly rebounded off of. And obviously for good reason. As you can see, fundamentally speaking, things are looking very good, not just with the box office, but again, that being restructured, right? So those are kind of the two recipes that you need. You got to have that production, and again, the debt's got to be managed, and those things are happening. So now we are seeing that rebound and the bounce right here from the 93 cents, breaking the 1188 resistance line, and then also breaking your 556 resistance trend line as well. So continuing on with the structure, I drew this out here, and this is just kind of my schematic of what the slow speed look could be. I am not ruling out impulsive spike moves or squeeze-like moves, guys. You know me. I like to look at all different angles, but at this time, I'm looking at where we are wedged in between that resistance that is descending at the 1390 level, and then also your support, right? Which is now created off the 93 cent. So if you are to hold this support and that resistance remains above here, well, when they converge, the peak of this apex for this pennant, guys, is in the beginning of 2027. So it's not really like I'm just randomly selecting, like, oh, this is going to be a year plus. That's not what I'm doing. I'm looking at where resistance and support is going to converge. And then also I'm basing it off of the prior volume profile levels right here. Where's the most resistance and volume at? And then also the previous lows, or sorry, previous supports and resistances back here, right? Within the trading and the price action. So that's kind of how I came with this rough estimate of what it could look like bouncing around in this wedge in here. But it's not a one-to-one match, as you can see, going deeper with it. I said, I would imagine it would look something like this where you're getting a kind of a slow progression up. You'll have some big moves up, but then obviously you're going to have the pullbacks. So starting right here at the 93 cent level, we did get that. We broke the 556 finally. It took like a year to get out of this channel even that I drew up here in yellow. But we finally broke out of that. But then you got that retracement after a 100% move. So we got the retracement, kind of broke the resistance, or sorry, the support a little bit right here. I didn't really want to see that because I really thought that was going to bring us back down for either a double bottom or at least testing the 556, which neither happened. And I'm totally fine with that, as I said before. But again, you got to be prepared for all scenarios. Off that support break, we reclaimed and then had multiple candles print. And then we kind of started continuing back up, with the latest surge being obviously right here. And now today we got this kind of just red in between candle. I think we closed, yep, 276 with a high of 296 on the day. So really, I'm not surprised by this, guys, and I won't be surprised that for the rest of June, even with the good news, with the box office doing very well, that we pull back here. And the reason I say that is because if we're looking at this from just a pure indicator standpoint and a cooling off, like I said, this would just match what I was saying about the flow of AMC. I mean, look at this. We are in overbought territory on the RSI. So again, like you got right back here, you see how this price action fell down. I'm sure a lot of people were dooming and glooming and thinking it was over, but then you had an even more powerful rebound. But if you look right here at the price action, look at the RSI, it's the same situation, guys. You're overbought, and then this had to cool off. You see RSI dropping now, going back to those low, what was this, 35, kind of oversold conditions nearly. And then you had enough gas in the tank to really send you on this move right here. Even right here was like a smaller little cooling off right here, you could see. But every time, guys, we have gotten in that overbought from at least this starting point, you had to cool off. So that's why I won't be surprised that even with the good news, like I said, that we fall all the way down. I wouldn't be surprised if we go down to this green support line ascending right here, which would be, sub $2. I'm sure that would be psychological for people to see us lose to $2, right? But look at the support that I have drawn up. So I'm not really concerned about that, but it makes sense to me why we would need to do that. I don't think we can just continue surging forever and staying in overbought land. So I'm going to expect some kind of pullback here, right? And like I said, it's not a one-to-one match with my trajectory that's drawn out, but it's pretty close now. It's caught up right here, right? Really caught up to almost 323. I don't know if we'll get to 323, but doesn't really matter as long as we keep trending in this direction, right? And I'll leave it at that. So, taking a look at our pivot points, this is also very key. This is why I think it's so important to have, looking at multiple indicators sometimes to just gauge off of, your direction and where you're going with the price action and what might happen next. Because when you look at the pivot points, you have your R1 beat, you have your R2 beat, and resistance rate. Again, I told you this last time that we blew right through it. I said, guys, if we get anything like this in this move right here that we got from the initial break, right? If we get this again where it broke R3 and surged past it, I said I was fine with that. And sure enough, right to the T, guys, this thing blew through R1, R2, R3, went all the way past R3 and touched this dotted blue line. What did I tell you guys in prior videos? I said I wanted to see how price responded at this dotted line, which was 276. And I told you guys, either price is going to get up to it and reject, which means it would go back into that theory of cooling off with the RSI, or price prints above this level, and then you start to attack the next level, right? After this, I told you guys what happens. I know people are going to be yawning now because they keep hearing me say the same thing. But I told you that after this big bar here, you have that volume pocket in here, which is very weak resistance. And I said with that comes really quick price action to the upside, right? Filling this entire zone very, very quickly. And the next target would be at least up to here because you can see these two bars get pretty thick, right? And they're sticking right out. And so you could get a little pullback to this level, but it just lines up. This is why I said the way I have this drawn out, it's very much matching this to some degree. So that would bring you up to around the what is this, $4.65, maybe up to $5.15, right in this 2 bar region here. Okay. So right now, that's where I'm at. I think we are going to kind of fight this right here. Maybe a little bit of choppy sideways action and then slowly dying down. I don't think it'll have to be a direct meltdown type of thing, but maybe you kind of chop and just slowly die off. That could be a scenario there where maybe you go down to even 225. You might not even need to go to the sub $2, right? But that's what I'm seeing. So pivot points looking very good, and that is your sneak peek at the volume profile situation. Let's look at our MACD. We already looked at the RSI. And on the daily, let's see what the MACD is doing here. So at least right now, the MACD is still trending upward. All right. Somehow, some way, even with the RSI on fire right now, MACD is still trending upward with no cross down. All right. We like when the MACD line crosses the signal line to the upside, but we obviously don't want to see MACD line cross the signal line to the downside because, again, that's going to tell you that selling pressure is coming in, right? And when I see that, that's just going to reiterate like it did back here. Again, 93-cent push. Look right here. Got the crossover, held, and then MACD eventually crossed back down over the signal line. Got all this red volume that came in, and it cooled off. And then new surge again. So just waving in and out, guys, right? Easy as pie to see unfolding in front of you. On the weekly, again, very strong. You have two more bars back to back that are succeeding each other, right? So this one right here is obviously bigger than this one, so on and so forth. So again, the bullish volume is continuing to increase, and you don't see obviously on the weekly that the MACD line is crossing down to the over the signal line, right, to the downside, right? The weekly looks very, very strong. And then again, I told you this already that on the quarterly, we don't have the crossover yet because we have to wait until that candle prints. Hopefully, it is a green candle because if it is, that means this is crossing over the signal line to the upside, right? And it looks very, very good for it. Like I said, other than that, guys, let's take a quick peek at the EMA bands here. Let's see where we're at with the EMAs. Yeah, again, like I've reiterated in the past couple of videos, EMAs are also in very strong condition. They're all pushing to the upside. I don't even see the 9 curling down yet. So that looks very good. And your 9's crossing over the 255 EMA that I had set up here in my little parameter set. And then you have the 27 is now crossing over the 100. That looks very good. You have the 48 down here, which is on its way to cross over the 200. All very bullish crossovers, guys, ready to take place. So nothing has really changed on the EMA front either. Other than that, I think, guys, that really sums up everything that I have. I already went over the VP with you guys. I mean, that was really it. It was let's just see what happens this week at this level. Even with bullish news, do not be discouraged or depressed if you see price really take a huge cooling off back here, like I said, to my support line. Even down here to like this lower region down here in these two volume bars, I could see maybe being a sticking point 210, 208 region. Would not be surprised. But as long as this thing cools down, that's all great and well. But I want to see it rebound even harder, right? To continue to make those higher highs. So that is what I'm seeing, guys. It's really, really simple, straight to the point today. Like I said, over the weekend, we had a great weekend with the movie situation, box office wise. Everything is really looking according to plan, to be honest. So if you guys have any questions, if there's anything I missed, please drop comments down below for me and I'll do my best to answer them. I usually do a pretty good job about answering all the comments and the people that are taking the time to respond to the video. So appreciate you guys stopping by. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe because we are, again, like I said many times, tracking this pretty damn well for the most part. So let's just see what happens. Let's see where Q2 ends. And like I said, I will always keep you guys up to date. If anything rapid fire changes, I will be the first one to let you know. You guys take care. Have a great night. And I'll see you in the next one.